Cadence Baker, and I'm chair of the Planning Committee for Pathways 2017 here at Tarleton. And I'm pleased today to introduce you to Dr. Kelly Lemons, who's an Associate Dean over in the College of Liberal and Fine Arts. And he's here to share with us his experience and his story from 5 or so years ago. Has it been 5 years?
2013.
2013, when he was the winner of the 3MT competition at Texas A&M University. And the reason I've asked him to join us is because our doctoral lightning round is based loosely on the 3MT competition. So I wanted him to kind of give you some insights and tips and tricks for being successful. So Dr. Lemons, can you tell us a little bit about how you became involved in 3MT?
Yeah, so it was the inaugural year that Texas A&M had done a 3-minute thesis competition, and so they tried to get as much participation as possible. They sent out announcements to all the graduate advisors and all the students and everything like that, so it almost wasn't a possibility for me. I had to do it, and I was pleased to do it because it's a pleasure to be able to talk about your dissertation in 3 minutes when you've been preparing to defend it for 3 or 4 hours. So.
Sure. So it's sort of your faculty advisor saying you will do this.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and maybe the case for some of our doctoral students as well. So if you have anxiety or I guess it's an ambiguous thing, what advice do you have for kind of easing those fears?
The best way to ease those fears is just by repetition, making sure that you have it memorized, and looking at other examples, because the best way to create your own is by pulling from other people's examples, and they're often posted on YouTube. There are a lot of examples out of New Zealand and Australia because they've been doing 3-minute thesis for a long time, and I believe this has actually started in Australia. And so a lot of those finalist competitions are recorded on YouTube, so I pulled from those, and just seeing how other successful people did it really kind of relieved some of my fears, and then I based mine on theirs. And so then just rehearsing what I had practiced over and over again to different audiences finally set me at ease to be able to do it when I guess it counted.
Gotcha. Well, so in terms of the format, what recommendations do you have there in terms of, so you're going to get one slide, just as they do in 3MT. So what would you say that one slide needs to portray? Yeah,
so my one slide, so the nuts and bolts of it is, from what I found of the successful 3-minute theses competitions, is that the good ones are really based on a story format. So it had bookends. So it had a beginning, and then in the middle you kind of mucked it up with your methodology, your findings, your conclusion, and then the end it drew it back to that story. So it kind of had an opening and a closing, and those were the really successful ones. And so I created mine around the story, and I had my slide be that story. So my slide was essentially just one giant picture of Copacabana Beach, because I did my research dissertation on student participation within the culture of Brazil, and my picture was of Copacabana Beach, and I only had, I think, 4 or 5 even lines in there, not to draw any attention away from the slide, because I wanted people to feel like they were there, like they were involved in my story that I kind of built my dissertation or 3-minute thesis topic around. And so that's what I would recommend you doing it as a story format. The other thing is the vernacular. So oftentimes, once you've been doing your dissertation for 4 or 5, 6 years, you've used the vocabulary so often that it becomes a common vernacular for you. You're just used to those words, you assume that everyone else knows them. But when I was practicing mine, I threw out the term ethnocentrism. And when I was practicing with my friends, they were like, whoa, we don't know what this means. And I was like, doesn't everyone know what this means? It's just common. And they're like, no. So practicing with people who are, I don't want to say lay people, because I'm sure they're intelligent,
outside your field,
but outside of my field,
right.
They would point out concepts that they didn't understand that I thought were common to everyone. So in practicing with them, people outside of my discipline, I could really make it and cater it to a more general audience. And so that really helped to get some of those technical terms out of there to make the story even easier to follow.
Great. So it sounds like practice a lot, make it sort of more of a story, engage your audience, that type of thing is your advice. And obviously you did that because you won the competition at A&M for 3MT. So that's what we're hoping you're going to do here in the doctoral oral lightning rounds is bring us your best work, but in 5 minutes, engage the audience. The winner of the competition, and there's about 31 of you guys competing, will present at the closing ceremony in front of everybody. So it's going to be a great experience for you. We appreciate you coming, Dr. Lemons, and we'll see you at Pathways.
Good luck.